today, from NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, this is Madden Football on EA Sports. It's the Houston Texans taking on the Cleveland Browns.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a pretty good one on tap here, as it'll be the Cleveland Browns taking on the Houston Texans. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And before kickoff, Charles, quickly your keys to the game.
Well, partner, I could give you the standard ones, turnovers, special teams play. But here's one that doesn't get talked about much anymore, and that's time of possession. Whoever controls the football, gives their defense a break, and takes care of business, that's the team that's going to win this ball game.
And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they will be led out by a guy certainly still trying to prove himself here in the league, the young rookie quarterback.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Stroud looks to throw on the first play. He's got his man. It's the tight end, Brevin Jordan. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense. He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Stroud, he had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
On fourth down, here's Cameron Johnston on to punt for Houston. Jakeem Grant deep for Cleveland. Yards on the punt, 2 on the return, and the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by a familiar face. This is Houston's first-round pick, of course, back in 2017, Deshaun Watson. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Watson's throw taken in by Cooper here. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Watson on first down. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Second and 10. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. To the air yet again, Watson. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 40. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory, right at the 40. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man coverage was so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. First carry for Nick Chubb. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
2nd and 3 from the 9. And again, it's Chubb. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Browns are on the board first here this afternoon. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Play action. Stroud now. They'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there at 22.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Devin Singletary with his first carry of the game. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all of their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got it going, boys. Let's keep it going.
Right back to Singletary on 2nd down. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Third and 4. Here's Stroud. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a 9-yard gain, and it'll keep the drive moving.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run on first down with Singletary. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made there by Myles Garrett. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game, because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6.
Now that's a heck of a moment for your first sack of the game, because if this long drive ends without a touchdown because of that sack, we're going to look back and say that might be one of the biggest plays of this contest.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. A shotgun snap to Stroud. Taking a shot for Dell here. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Now on fourth down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. And they'll be looking to make this a two-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing, and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
Watson off play action.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
Picked off by Denzel Perryman. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line.
So that time the pressure got home just as he was releasing the football and caused the pick.
And what it did was it disrupted that fragile balance of the mechanics of throwing the football. You know, from the footwork to being able to actually throw it downfield. If one piece of that puzzle gets disrupted, it affects the entire chance of success.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. And Stroud now to throw.
This is caught. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
That's his first catch of the game and an impressive one against multiple defenders.
And how about that start? Really aggressive. Yeah, there was double coverage out there, but that didn't stop them at all. They went right at it and defeated it on that play.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football as they've got it with second down and less than a yard. A give up the middle to Singletary. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Give him 2 yards. That sets him up 1st and goal.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
Stroud looking to throw. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown.
Nico Collins
from a yard out.
And the Texans are an extra point away from drawing level. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
Grant. He will not return it, and his guys will begin at the 25.
Heading out as a Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Jonathan Greenard running in to pick up the sack.
In every game we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their first sack of the contest.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Now Watson. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And 3rd and 8 now.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
On 4th down, Corey Bojorquez gets set to punt for Cleveland. Desmond King deep for Houston.
That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 all to return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Singletary to get the drive started. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On 2nd down, here's the option.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Stroud on 3rd down now.
A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the 1st down marker. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
With the football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns.
The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Back to throw, Watson.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
Well, congratulations to them. They come through defensively with another stop. And let's face it, this secondary, they've gone unchallenged so far in the 1st half.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. To throw is Watson.
This complete to David Bell.
And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And the Texans will take over.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the 1st half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Now they'll throw it with Stroud here, 1st and 10.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
It's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Singletary, they'll go up the middle. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Stroud to throw it.
And it's intercepted.
Picked off by Grant Delpit.
The rookie was trying to push it downfield, but the safety bit him.
And he'll learn that you have to hold the safety. And you do that with your head movement, your eyes, sometimes your shoulders. Hold the safety so that you can get back to the throw that you really want to make. He got so excited thinking his guy was open that he made it easy for the defensive back to go get the football.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Moore, the man in motion.
And now a fake on the jet sweep and a give to Chubb.
And he'll be taken down after a short gain as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Here's Watson now on second down.
Quick throw, and he's got Amari Cooper.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Watson hooking up with Cooper there for the Cleveland first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Watson now to throw.
Looking for and finding Amari Cooper again. And the Browns are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Now it's Watson.
Quick throw there is incomplete.
There's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Here's Watson. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Now they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal.
Here's Watson. Fighting through. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Browns will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half.
They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. Hopkins with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Texans with the football here late in this first half. And with just under a minute to go, they might try to think about mounting a drive here if they can and get in the end zone. Could potentially tie this game up.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Throwing now is Stroud.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Here's Stroud.
A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
A yard, all they need, but it's 3rd down. Here goes Stroud again.
And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Set to punt. Here's Cameron Johnston. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback.
The Browns going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with a 14-7 lead, they might just be happy to take this thing on into the tunnel.
Just 25 seconds to go in the half now as they've got it 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Watson. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
That was Will Anderson getting home and finishing the play.
So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports halftime report. We saw a solid first half out of the workhorse Nick Chubb. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this 3rd quarter in what's been a tight contest so far.
A one-touchdown ball game, 14-7 our scores. We get back at it on EA Sports.
And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it.
Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this 3rd quarter.
And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Now a first down throw, Watson.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Watson pushes past him. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Operating from the gun, Watson.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the 3rd quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
The Browns send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. On the return, it's King. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the 2nd half.
And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this 2nd half.
First and 10, it's Stroud. That one complete. It's Tank Dell.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage. Got right into his route. And the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Now Stroud.
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And this is picked up by the Browns. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. A disappointing end of the sequence there. He was starting to turn nothing into something, and then he lost the football.
And sometimes things get lost in the transition. And what I mean by that is you go from being a passer to a runner. And at a certain point, once you cross the line of scrimmage, you're strictly a runner now. There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
Hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
So from the 37, here's a 2nd down and 4.
Coming right, this is Chubb on the toss. And he is going to lose yardage here. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Third and 5.
Looking to throw. Watson. And that is incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he'll try and throw here on the fake. Now a throw caught by one of their linemen. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. Would have been a long kick. It was prime fake field goal territory. They faked it. They got it.
So much for defense in this situation because the natural play there is you go into what we call safe, meaning you don't really rush on that one. You almost concede it. They want to kick a long one like that and make it, so be it. You just don't give up the fake. Yet they did anyway. Poor execution on the defensive side. Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
To throw on second is Watson. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
Partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Back to throw. Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
In the red zone, precision is the watchword. If the throw's a little too early, too late, maybe off a little bit, going to be a good chance that any attempt is going to be a contested one, and that one falls incomplete.
Hopkins' kick is good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7.
So they wind up turning the turnover into points as they convert there for 3.
Yeah, that was a nice job there to force the fumble. They recover, hand things over to their offense, and then the offense went down and got them 3. That alone, that's not enough to win a game, but both units able to do their jobs on these last 2 drives.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Houston set to take over. Right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot here, CD. You're trailing by double digits. Remember the last time out, they fumbled. They're going to have to play some clean football here on this possession.
And all the talk on their sideline has been about taking care of the football, making sure that they're handling the ball correctly. So you know they'll be squeezing the rock pretty tight here. They just have to be careful not to go so hard in doing that that they actually cause themselves other problems. Take care of the ball, but still try and play free and natural.
On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive. Up past the 30, second down coming up.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Second down and 6 now. Stroud.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Schultz. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Stroud now on 1st and 10.
This will be caught by Brown. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 15 yards last play and 15 yards here this go-around.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 39-yard line.
On the handoff, it's Singletary. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
From the 35, here's the 2nd down and 6. Stroud out of the gun here. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. 7 yards there and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Singletary here running out of the gun. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
2nd and 10. Thanks for tagging along with us here from Houston, Texas.
Looking to throw. Stroud. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters.
This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Back to throw. Stroud.
Oh, no, he lost the football.
So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
So a big one coming here for Kaimi Fairbairn. This officially a 55-yard attempt.
And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right, and they will not cut into that 10-point lead. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field.
Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. to keep up with your theme there playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
And even with the missed field goal that we just saw, they still have to try and erase a 2-score fourth-quarter deficit.
And here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. And he's brought down. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved.
Yeah, that's on the guard, Wyatt Teller.
The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Following the penalty, Chubb. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36.
42 yards rushing for him now to this point.
I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Moore, the man in motion.
Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
Well, things obviously not going their way. Trailing here in the fourth quarter, and that penalty going to go ahead and give the other side some extra yardage.
We all know it's an intense game and things can get heated out there. That's part of the battle. But bottom line, you got to keep your cool. That was not an example of doing that.
So the penalty yards marched off on the face mask. Here's 1st and 10.
Looking to throw. Watson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got them this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They go up the middle with Chubb. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
That was well defended right there. He saw the play in front of him and able to hold the point of attack. Then he sheds it and goes and makes a tackle for a loss.
The offense on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. Back to throw. Watson. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. And here comes the Texans now.
They trail by 2 scores in the 4th, and their defense did its job getting the fumble recovery. Time to see what this offense has left in the tank.
Following the fumble recovery, Stroud steps away to his left. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
The ball on the 32. It's 2nd and 2.
On the give, this is Singletary. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Stroud working out of the gun. That is caught by Dell.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 44-yard line. Looking to throw. Stroud.
Caught left side. Here's Dell.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So the completion good for 7 there. And it's 2nd down. Back to throw. Stroud. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 27-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
Well, they've certainly had their share of troubles running the football in this one, but this play is almost an extension of the running game right here. They set up the screen, let him work out in space on the perimeter, and he turns it into a big pickup.
The throwing again is Stroud. Over the middle, he gets it to Collins.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up the first down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score.
Now 1st and goal.
Back to throw again. Got his tight end. That's complete. That's Schultz.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. It's hurry-up mode time for the Texans, hustling up to the line.
Here's Stroud.
And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. A big win there defensively on 2nd and goal, a loss of 7, and it brings up 3rd. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Denzel Ward.
And the Browns are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Well, it certainly felt like he was going to challenge this defense no matter what, and he stepped up and tried to throw it to the outermost edge of the zone coverage, and they were more than ready for him. The problem now is if they are limited in what they're doing throwing the football, they got to figure out how to move it without being able to throw it to the outside and throw it downfield.
We've got to have two hands on the football here as they run on first down.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Now a timeout called for by the defense as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here, 2nd and 11.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Here's Chubb on the read option.
And that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the first at about the 21. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. The Browns send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time.
And they will take over 1st and 10. So Stroud and the Texans
down by 10, 46 seconds to go. It's been a struggle to score all day, and now they need to do it twice here late to have a chance.
Now Stroud.
Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Well, it's pretty difficult to sum it up offense in a 2-minute drill when your guys have struggled to put points on the board all afternoon. There's an incompletion right there.
A little more than 40 seconds to play. Now 2nd and 10. Stroud.
He's going to let it fly. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Just a difficult situation to be in here in the final minute. Down 2 scores. You know you need some providence from somewhere. They're going to keep firing away till the end, but this one falls incomplete.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Stroud to throw it.
They've got his man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Well, defensively there, you want to play it a little safe and keep the action in front of you, but you definitely aren't looking to give up plays like that. They still got the cushion of a 2-score lead, but don't give them a freebie here in the final minute.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Stroud back to throw.
Escaping the pressure right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. So long from Houston.